Hi gang, this is Gina here with the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. I am going to be showing you how to do an installation for the Maxi-Cosi Ambra infant seat. Now again, this does not supersede any type of instruction manual, nor does it supersede your vehicle manual, but this is just a visual guide, a visual demonstration for people who may otherwise struggle with just those instruction sets. We want to just make sure that we talk about it so that we can give a clear visualization. But again, in no way does it substitute for actually reading the manual, making sure that it fits in your car. You are responsible for your own kiddo. So again, read that manual and read your vehicle manual. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can check out the colors for this car seat on my personal website, destinationbabykids.com. You want to buy it directly from me. I'm a real small business brick and mortar store here in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you'd like to see your money go to a real person and not some psycho billionaire, please feel free to buy it directly from us. We do appreciate it. Okay, let's launch into how to install this bad boy in your car in the 3 different methods. Okay guys, if you haven't watched one of my installation videos before, again, just want to make sure you understand that this does not supersede the instruction manual that your car seat comes with, so you need to be sure to read that. But again, this is just a visual aid to go over sort of how we install the base and the car seat without the base for the Maxi-Cosi Ambra. So this right here represents a vehicle seat. So this is like the seat that's in your car. In this vehicle seat, down here in the seat bite, which means in between the back and the butt of the seat, there are 2 metal brackets. Those are called lower anchors. Those are present on every vehicle from 2003 and newer, provided it's not either a fleet vehicle or too heavy to be considered like a commercial vehicle. So if you have a Ford F-350 like quad cab, you may not have it, but for again, most vehicles 2003 and newer, they have those lower anchors. So we're going to show you how to install this base using either the lower anchors or a seatbelt, because again, you can do either or. We would never do both, and it states that in the manual. We're going to pick one method or the other for the base installation. So let me bring the base to the camera just so that everyone can see closely. This is the base. It comes with the car seat. I'm just going to quickly turn off this light here. So this is a base that comes with a car seat, and underneath there's a foot on the base, and on the side there's a piece called rigid lower anchors. So to get those to come out, you're going to press a thumb button here and pinch this piece pretty hard and shove that guy up. You're going to do it on both sides. And again, you don't have to be pointed toward the sky. This is just useful for me to show you what I'm doing. So I'm pressing with my thumb, I'm pressing with my pointer finger, I'm pinching together pretty darn hard, and then I'm scooting both of those pieces of metal forward, just like that. Okay, so now they're extended. I also want this foot to be free, so I'm gonna put my hand in here and pull the foot away from the rest of the base. So now it sort of has like, we used to call it back in the day like a rat tail or a duck tail, and then you've got your 2 lower anchors, okay? So let's talk about what we do. In our car, and I'm gonna go ahead and angle this sort of like diagonally. They call that quarter turn. So your lower anchors, they're spaced on the base at 11 inches apart. That's gonna match up in your car. So we'll go ahead, and here's what's so exciting. When you lock this in properly, and I'm not sure if it'll show here, but I am gonna turn this car seat sideways. And I'm gonna come up to the camera and see if I zoom in tight enough if you guys can see it. I'm not sure you'll be able to, but let me just look to see. We'll angle this down slightly. Oh, I don't think I can. All right, well, we'll leave it like that just for now. But what's going on the side of the seat, on the side of the latch, is there's a little red window. When that will connect with that lower anchor, that window is gonna turn green. And there's one on either side. So that's gonna be a strong indication that we've gone ahead and installed this correctly. We also want our lower foot to be moving freely. We don't want it touching the ground yet. There's a button on the back of the foot for lengthening and shortening the foot, and I'm hitting it with my pointer finger. So that's adjustable. So I'm gonna adjust that to be short just so it doesn't interfere with this component of the installation. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock each lower anchor connector onto each lower anchor. And the window turned green. So that was very exciting. I was able to hit both sides, get my seat green on both sides, but now there's like a little gap here. If I push on the seat toward the back of the vehicle seat, they're gonna make better contact, which is something that I want. But in addition, it'll just make the seat tighter in the car for while it's installed. And you heard it click, it's self-ratcheting. So once this gets as tight as it's gonna go, it's not making any more click sounds. I've got green on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead now and make sure my foot is not sticking out. I want it perpendicular, so very, very much straight, 90-degree up and down, and that's gonna come down and make contact with the vehicle floor. So I press the button and drop that foot down and lock it so that it is making contact with the floor of the vehicle. Let me back it up a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this foot touching down here. So we've got that attached. We're gonna go ahead and pull on the seat. It's not moving more than an inch left to right. It's not moving an inch front to back. So currently, this lower part is ready to go. We'll go ahead and put our infant car seat rear facing, so facing backward directly onto the base. And then on the side of the seat, there's a piece that's red that reads level line. So this was a little interesting to me, and I just want to call this out because it was a little confusing. There's language in the book that seems to disagree with the language that's written on the car seat. The language surrounding the language line physically on the car seat reads, level line should be as close to parallel to the ground as possible, period. When installing the car seat with the base, comma, the car seat can be slightly more reclined than the level line shows for children who cannot sit up unassisted. So let me read that again. When installing the car seat with the base, the car seat can be slightly more reclined than the level line shows for children who cannot sit up unassisted. Okay, so typically this line, this red line, we would want to be parallel with the ground. So I tell you to do this installation of this base like not on a hill. That would be true of all of them, but we want that level with the ground. However, this sticker indicates that if we are dealing with like a newborn or a baby that has poor head and neck control, somebody that's very little, we can have it be a little more reclined than upright. Because remember, this seat has 5 different positions to sit it more upright. So if I set it like that and I look at the level line, I mean, I have to say, it looks relatively level in most of the different positions, but I like that the language on the side kind of tells you, hey, if you're dealing with a newborn, put it in its most reclined mode, provided it's not wildly over reclined. That seems to be the messaging. Now, this is what was difficult. On page 36 of their own manual, it got a little confusing, and maybe I just misread this, although I sincerely doubt it since I got perfect on my ACT for reading comprehension. So, not to brag or anything, it's the one time I'll toot my own horn. It's the only test I've done well on. But yeah, I got 36 out of 36. So when stuff doesn't agree, like in the book and on the seat, it always catches my attention. So this is what was so strange. For children who cannot sit up unassisted, the rear-facing level line must, M-U-S-T, in all caps and in bold, must be as close to parallel to the ground as possible using any position. For children who can sit upright unassisted, you may use any position to make the seat more upright. I feel like the language in the book is poor. I feel like the language on the side of the seat is more in alignment with what you learn when you are a car seat technician, which is that you want a baby's head and neck to be open with an airway unobstructed, specifically when they don't have head and neck control. So while they are in somewhat of a disagreement here, I would argue that the information printed on the side of the seat that says, hey, if your kid doesn't have good head and neck control, go ahead and recline this seat as much as possible. That's probably more useful information for parents to have. I think it would be useful if Maxi-Cosi could clear this up for their consumers because, again, not super clear. Or on a further model, maybe they could have some type of actual like level bubble on it or something. But what I would tell you is that in most cars for a newborn, you'd want it in its most reclined. And then as kiddos get bigger, they get that head and neck control. If you thought it made sense, you can sit the seat more upright. But again, I wouldn't describe this as a reclining base. I describe it as an inclining base because we're most likely gonna start the seat at its most reclined. And then when that kiddo gets better head and neck control, you can go ahead and sit the seat more upright. Now, something else that was kind of fascinating is that when you install it in your car, you always need the handle in this position, upright and locked. It definitely reads that in the book. And then the other thing that was unusual is that once it's installed, if this is on a passenger or a driver's side, like not in the middle position of your car, they want either the passenger seat or the driver's seat to slide back and come into contact with the seat. It's in the book, and this is definitely different than most of the car seats that I review, so I would just point it out to you. There's a term for that when we describe safety techniques. It's called compartmentalization. It just means having things kind of right immediately adjacent or next to each other or touching. So they do want the seat in front of it touching the seat when you install it with the base. So something to be aware of there. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys to see that type of installation. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition my camera to show off the seatbelt installation and the baseless installation on this seat because it's a little bit trickier and I want a clearer view of the base to show off what's going on there. So while I'll stop the camera, it's still gonna be a part of this video to see the seatbelt installation for the seat on its own as well as the seatbelt installation for the base. All right, guys, so I'm back here with you to show you how to do this installation if we're gonna just do a seatbelt install. Meaning, like, let's say you're doing your middle seat and you don't have those little lower anchor in your car, those lower anchor connectors won't hook up to anything. So there would be specific situations where using a seatbelt with this base would make more sense than using the lower anchor. And again, this doesn't substitute for the book. This is just a visual demonstration of what you should be looking for, okay? So we're clear about that. Now we're gonna do basically the same thing that we did before. We're gonna turn the seat upside down. We're gonna grab the load leg. I'm gonna go ahead and shorten that load leg up by pressing the button and scooting it in because I don't want it touching the ground at the start. I wanna get this guy in first and then we set the load leg at the very end. So now that we've got the seat set up, we're gonna open up this little arm that's in the middle of these silver pieces. There's a little piece here that comes open. Now there's two red windows that you'd be able to see. They read tension indicator. That's only gonna matter when we're installing this with a seatbelt. So if you're using lower anchors, those red windows, they're not gonna turn green. The ones that you were looking for the lower anchor, there's like a red window on this guy itself. So we've got this sort of centered in our seat. We're gonna go ahead and take our seatbelt and run it through. Underneath, there's like a little hole on the one side. We're gonna have the seatbelt go over and come under, and then go ahead and buckle to our seatbelt buckle. My poor belt buckle on this demo seat has seen better days. Ooh, will this even hook up? Yeah, it will. Sweet. Okay, so you lock your buckle, or I mean, you buckle your seatbelt buckle, and then you go ahead. This is what I meant. I don't know if this is gonna hold. Here's hoping. Let me buckle this better. Okay, that should be locked now. So now you go ahead and you pull on the belt tightly so that you can get your windows to go from red to green. So right now, my windows are not turning green. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up a little tighter if I can to put a little bit of tension on that seatbelt. So one's green and one's sort of half red and green. And then I'm gonna go ahead and close this piece in the center. Now I've got complete green in both windows, which is good. We're buckled, which is good. I'm gonna go ahead and set my foot toward the floor. So let me zoom out. Hopefully, oh, we're out as far as we can. Okay, let me back the seat up so you guys can see. So here's that foot. I'm gonna go ahead and press the button on the back. And remember, I don't wanna pull it way out. I want it perpendicular with the floor. And this guy, when it comes in contact with the floor, It just sits right on the floor, straight up and down at that 90-degree angle that we talked about. So now our base is installed. We've got our foot set, but now the final step to this is going to be what's called locking off our seatbelt, which means if you have a switchable locking retractor, what you would do is you would take your belt, you would pull it out slowly as far as it would go, and then when it retracts back, typically it makes the ratcheting sound. This one doesn't do it because this is a demonstration seat, but in theory it would say click, 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 click when it's going back in, and when this comes up, it will be locked, meaning that you won't be able to pull additional slack on that belt. So you do want to make sure that you lock your seatbelt off at the end of this style of installation. But you're looking for the 2 green windows, you're looking for no movement left, right, no movement front, back, less than 1 inch. And then again, your foot should be in contact with the floor. Ooh, this one tricked me. There we go. Now we're in a little bit better contact with the floor. We could go ahead and put our seat on. We could consult that level line on the side that I was talking about earlier, right here. And again, there is that option to sit it more upright or more reclined, depending on what makes sense for your car. So that is going to be your installation of the base with the seatbelt. I'm going to go ahead and unbuckle this, and I will show how to install this seat without a base whatsoever, just with a seatbelt. Okay guys, so now we're going to show you how to install this car seat with no base. I've removed the base. So again, doesn't take the place of instructions. So on the side of the seat, you see these black pieces of plastic. That's going to be where your seatbelt is going to go when you put this into your car without a base. The other thing to note is that, again, on the side of the seat, there is a red level line. You want to make sure that that is level with the ground when you're installing the seat. The other thing that you're going to want to make sure of is that your handle is not back. You're going to want to make sure it's up in its locked upright position. So that's in the book. Now we'll go ahead and take our seatbelt and run it through under each side of this black piece. It's just that simple. You'll go ahead and you'll buckle your seatbelt. And again, my poor buckle on this demonstration seat has seen better days. But the idea here is that once it's in and level, what you would then do is you would pull on the shoulder belt part to make this tight so that the seat wouldn't move 1 inch left or right, and it wouldn't move 1 inch in that direction if you were to stop suddenly. And how we would lock this off is most cars have what's called a switchable locking retractor, which means at your shoulder belt, you would pull it out as far as it would go. And then typically when it goes back in, it'll make a clicking sound. And when it's installed properly, that shoulder belt piece will be locked off, meaning that it's tight. So if you slam on the seat, this is just already locked off and ready to go. So it is important to make sure that you lock that off. And then the final step with this guy that's kind of interesting is that, again, you're going to want that front seat to come and make contact with this guy if it's in the driver or the passenger position. They don't have any indication for middle seat, so I'm not sure what they'd want you to do in that specific setting. You may want to email them directly to see, but this is your setup for seatbelt, where it just goes across the front. It is not a European belt routing method where it comes around the back, which is again a little frustrating, a little disappointing for me. But this would be the idea for an installation without a base for taxi, Uber, vacation, on an airplane, that sort of thing. So hopefully these installation videos were helpful. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. And check out my other videos on how to clean the material for this guy, just so you can see kind of if that's easy or difficult. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.